Isn't it then important then that those that were involved in it be held accountable?
All of them.
All of them.
Every single one of them.
Okay, so how do we get from it began here in 2016, July, the press conference, all the way through the setup for 2017 and Trump's coming in, and explain how it continues from there?
That's the part that I got to be a little careful about. What I was saying earlier is...
No, you don't have to be careful. I know what you mean.
They ran it back again. I don't mean in 2016 and 17. I don't mean in 2021. I mean they ran it back just now.
Explain.
In the last election. In the one that just put Trump back in office. They ran the same playbook of getting regurgitated, bogus information, funded by political operatives, seeded into the intelligence community, and that's what we figured out and unlocked. And that is what I spend most of my time when it comes to the de-weaponization of government, focused on collecting those bad actors, getting grand juries, getting prosecutors, and building teams around the country, not just in one location, to look at that, because these people haven't stopped. The same actors were involved yet again. And so that, when you say grand conspiracy, I think the American public thinks one thing. When I hear it, I'm talking about the breadth of the entirety of it. And we are putting it all in one place. And that's the crux of what we're doing right now.
And
on the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. Yes, major stuff is starting to come out. The idea of them getting people for conspiracies and past the statute of limitations, it's not going to be a problem. And considering that the conspiracy never really stopped and the crimes continued to occur election after election, that also kind of continues the dates, I assume, as well. So, again, a lot to talk about. I've got a great show. Yes, going to be talking about big time what Q was talking about with Chris Ray. And what was always very confusing for many, many of us is probably suddenly going to make a little more sense. We're going to talk about that. I got that covered up over here in the lead, so you want to get to it, jump to it, it's up to you, but otherwise we'll get there. Got a lot to talk about, stuff with Iran, good news potentially. It's affecting world markets in a very good way. At least it was up until moments ago. We'll find out when we get there. All of that said, I've got a lot to talk about. Let's get the ball rolling. Minnesota, they lack verification records for tens of thousands of voter registrations. This is this vouching system, but they have nothing in there to sort of verify the vouch. Who vouched? It's just been vouched. That's all? Yeah, that's all it takes. It's just, someone to say it's vouched for. Whatever. They're in big trouble. Fulton County's fighting the DOJ a subpoena of 2020 election worker details. They want names, phone numbers, and stuff like that. That's going to be very interesting because they've probably got a lot of camera footage, too. That might indicate some misdoings, and I'm sure they want to chit-chat with some of those people. This is huge news. I'm bummed it's coming from this particular site. I was surprised I didn't find it in other places, but the UN, United Nations expert panel, they have admitted that catastrophic climate forecasts are, quote, implausible, discrediting years of media alarmism. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the IPCC, they have acknowledged that a widely used climate scenario that has driven alarmist predictions for over a decade is unrealistic, casting doubts on numerous policies, studies, and headlines based on it. And this is all off this RCP 8.5 climate scenario. It was used since 2011. It's been used to predict catastrophic climate outcomes. It's the thing that's freaking everyone out. Well, they said, this is implausible. This scenario, it's not happening. They're not seeing enough correlations. They're not seeing us far enough along, considering not a lot of changes have happened. So, here we are, 15 years later, and this is not it's not accurate. And they're coming out and admitting it. That's how wrong it is. They can't even continue to pretend it's right. Meteorologists sound the alarm over El Nino plume racing across the Pacific like a freight train. Now, again, what's really weird to me is back in the day when nature stuff happened, we generally said it was an act of God. Nowadays, nobody believes it's God anymore. Everyone believes it's man-made. So this is something that a lot of people are like, see, they're using the weapons again. So they've managed to take God out of nature, which is phenomenal. That said, we do have a weakening magnetic field on this planet that is beyond alarming. Literally probably is going to weaken so very much within 5 to 10 years that we're going to either A, have to figure some stuff out quickly, or B, well, we got some other scenarios, but whatever. We'll talk about that more as we get closer and closer to it. But that is affecting the planet and the temperatures as well. Whatever the case is, we've got a weird, divided world. That said, El Nino would be really great, by the way, for California. It ends up giving us a lot more moisture. It pushes the jet stream down south. So a lot of people above it will actually kind of dry out a little bit, but it pushes the jet stream down, which ends up pushing a lot of wetter, more arid or more humid, moist air, if you will, through our area. And when that happens, it rains more and we could use the rain. So that would be fantastic. I think they're talking that this is going to also hugely impact the Atlantic hurricane season in a very positive way, meaning far fewer Atlantic hurricanes when this heavy El Nino warming is happening in the Pacific, strongly Eastern Pacific, so where it's starting and, of course, spreading across is what they're saying, which is what it does. Department of Justice is suing Minnesota to block climate lawsuits that are targeting energy companies. So Minnesota is suing Exxon, and so the Department of Justice is suing Minnesota back. Take that, bitches. Bah. That's how they're doing that. We've got RFK Jr. talking about chemtrails, and by the way, he's going to say something that I've been saying and gotten some flack over, by the way. Also, we'll have a chit-chat about it here after. Let's let this video speak for itself at first. Oh, crap. Let's see if we can do this.
In 2023, during his failed presidential campaign, RFK Jr. hosted a podcast about chemtrails, where he platformed claims that the U.S. military is secretly using commercial jetliners to disperse harmful chemicals in the sky as part of a secret global program.
Chemtrails is this all-military aircraft. The military programs to weaponize climate. I know they're doing that because they do it with everything else. They do it with chemicals.
In 2024, in response to a post on X about chemtrails, RFK said, "We're going to stop this crime." And in 2025, after RFK was confirmed as America's next health secretary, he went on the Dr. Phil show and in response to an audience member asking about chemtrails, said DARPA, a U.S. military agency, is secretly dumping chemicals in the sky.
It's done, we think, by DARPA, and a lot of it now is coming out of the jet fuel.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Those materials are put in jet fuel. I'm going to do everything in my power to stop it.
This inspired lawmakers in Louisiana, Tennessee, and Florida to propose and pass new laws banning chemtrails over their states. And South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace, who is known to dabble with conspiracy theories like UFOs, also jumped on the chemtrail wagon, publicly proclaiming her support to ban nefarious chemical spraying over her state. Then, in 2026, a rediscovered declassified CIA document threw gasoline on the already raging chemtrail fire.
Yeah. What I still have a hard time with in general, you guys know this about me, I complain about this frequently, but many people are just so singularly focused. It's got to be one thing or another, right? And it's like everybody's like clamoring for what the thing is that the chemtrails are, right? The thing. That is sure. That's a fun discussion. I think there's variants of them. By the way, my thing is right now. Here's the thing. I'm gonna guarantee that any chemtrails that are happening currently right now are required in some weird way. They're not. I'm not gonna say they're not nefarious in the sense of I don't think they're spraying poison on us right now. I don't think so because there's no way Trump would let some sort of weird government planes fly over. They know every single aircraft that flies over this country. There's no way they let that happen, period. Now, way around it, like I've said before, it's in the fuels, I think. So you can take a commercial airliner and you can figure out, there's a sweet spot altitude-wise. A lot of people don't want to believe this, but it's true. There's a sweet spot altitude-wise, depending on heat, humidity, and all the number of factors. And if you put the aircraft in that sweet spot, its normal contrail becomes a chemtrail. And they do have barium and some other weird stuff in the fuels. They're small amounts, they're trace amounts, but it's in the fuel. I'm not saying that's solely it. I think there's some other stuff too. It has been speculated that there's even the possibility it's used for some of the SDI Star Wars stuff, that they literally could use HARP to electrify or something to that effect the atmosphere, or utilize those chemtrails, heat them up, and they somehow create some sort of shield that would block a missile from being able to get through, or maybe cause some sort of problem. Again, it's above my pay grade. I also think they happen sometimes. Maybe Trump agrees and whatever, but I think there are times where there's things they don't want us to see, and I think they sometimes make it difficult for that to happen too. I think there's sometimes things in the sky that they know are going to be there, and they don't want people to see that. So I think there's a number of things that they do with them, or a lot of speculations, and one day they'll actually tell us. But they'd go away if they could, right? Everyone wants to. Everyone's talking about them. Why are they still there? I still see them. You guys still see them. Why is that? And I don't see them every day. It's weird. I don't know. There was a guy that was sharing pictures with me like every day for a week and a half, it felt like. And then they just stopped. Maybe got bored of sending pictures to me. Trump posted this. They've made an emblem, at least. I don't know. Nice. The National Immigration and Customs Enforcement. I don't think it's official yet. I don't know if they can even change that name easily. It is an administrative branch thing, so they probably could. And it would be awesome. And kudos to the lady that helped Trump with that idea. That was pretty awesome. ICE is funding local police to enhance immigration enforcement operations. I thought this was super cool, and a big old smudge in the face of what's going to become the change column. But so many different states, sanctuary cities, and all that nonsense that are doing all these crazy things because they hate the immigration. They're trying to look good to the illegal voters that they're still trying to pander to, not actual citizens. They don't care about actual citizens. I find this to be the most fascinating part about it. Anyone that's an actual citizen should be kind of shocked at what's happening right now. How much energy the Democrat Party is using to fight for people that aren't here legally. They don't even want to be citizens. They don't even want to be Americans. And we're fighting this hard for them? What? Are you kidding me? How ass backwards is that? So Florida, one example. I'm sure there's going to be Oklahoma probably is going to get some of this money. Florida needs it more because it's right on the border. But still, ICE funds going to local police, and they're going to help. So essentially, ICE funds them, gives them extra money, help. And they're like, dude, just help us with the immigration. You get somebody, let us know. We'll come down, we pick them up, we take them bye-bye. That's how we do it. VPJ JD Vance just exposed so much SNAP benefit fraud. This is, again, I love that he's on it. I love how much JD Vance is used. If you think about any vice presidents in the past, Trump's actually divide and conquer. He's like, dude, I can't, there's not enough of me, right? Even if I used my double, there's not enough of me. So JD Vance is actually freaking doing stuff. I can't remember a vice president ever that did stuff. With the exception of kind of Kamala Harris when Biden totally dropped out because he was retarded, and they finally admit it. And then she was acting president, if you will, which she still hardly was around. Needless to say, here's some of the stuff he's accomplished. It's crazy.
Brooke has found out that we've got 355,000 people on SNAP benefits receiving double benefits. That we've got 186,000 dead people getting SNAP benefits. 186,000 dead Americans getting food stamps right now. Now, I know the fake news media is going to say that the big headline from this speech is J.D. Vance proposes that we take away food stamps. That's what they're going to say. I actually think that we should take food stamps away from dead people. I'm guilty of that. I think that's a reasonable thing. I also was talking to Brooke backstage, and she said, you know that there are people who have this is not a joke. There are people who have Lamborghinis who currently receive SNAP benefits. I said, that's interesting. I'm a pretty conservative guy, but I would think that 95% of the United States of America would agree that if you are wealthy enough to afford a Lamborghini, then you are wealthy enough to not receive SNAP benefits from the American people. Is that common sense? And I could go down and down the list. We just served 22 investigatory procedures. The Department of Justice.
I love it. I love shutting this stuff down. It's so freaking awesome and fun and exciting. Ah, if only those dolphins had laser beams on their freaking foreheads. This is awesomeness. We had that election in, Indiana? And Trump went in hard on this one. I talked about it yesterday. I guess Ohio, I think, also had one yesterday. And I apologize, Ohioans, for not bringing it up, but you should freaking know that you had your primary election. And hopefully you guys looked to see who Trump is suggesting. You don't have to do that, of course, but I find it to be very useful at this time of day. He's the one that knows who's MAGA and who's not. So IndyStar posted this. So far on Tuesday night, 5 President Trump's endorsed, 6 of them actually, ended up. State House candidates ousted state lawmakers. Senator Jim Bakes celebrated the news by saying that President Trump is the single most popular Republican among Hoosier voters. Everybody in politics right now has just gotten a very loud and clear picture. I also want to couple this with the idea that everybody that's nervous about how we're definitely going to lose the House, I saw The Hill talking about that. We're definitely going to lose the House. No, we're not. I wouldn't worry about it. First off, we're going to have fair elections, or at least close to it. Second off, we've gotten a lot of the rhinos out of the way, so we've actually got good candidates. We're actually going to get people out and vote in numbers, and so we'll overwhelm their systems. Plus, they're already shutting down a lot of the easy cheating. They're removing dead people. The voter rolls are going to be much, much cleaner by the time we're going into this election. And Act Blue is under investigation. The ACLP, what's that stupid one? Whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. They're in a major lawsuit and under criminal investigation right now. So we are the Harvard Poverty Law Center, those guys. We are just changing the landscape. They are not going to have access to the same weapons they had last time. We're figuring it out. Kind of like Kash Patel said. They used this on the last election. We know exactly what they're doing. We've been shutting down those mechanisms and being quiet about it. That is one of the biggest things that's been happening that not really anyone's talking about, but because the government's not talking about it. They're not making a big deal about it. Because when it comes down to it, it's going to just squish all the life out of this group. They're not going to have the money flowing in the places they typically do. They don't have U.S. aid functioning anymore. They are broke. Deep blue cities, look at where they're at. They're broke. Broke. Trump taunts Indiana state senators who blocked redistricting efforts. Said they're long-seated rhinos, so he did. He got them out of there. 7-2 could have been a 9-0 in the in as far as Congress. So yeah, these guys are. And Trump, like I said, he managed to. I think this is what I wanted to do. Trump had a whole bunch of these people that won. I'm get real. There you are. So yeah, Indiana did great. I don't want to list off everybody, but yeah, he got a whole bunch of great people won. So good job, Indiana. I think he lists off some Idaho people down there, but crap ton of people in Indiana. Vivek Ramaswamy won, by the way, so that's huge. And that was just the primary. So he's going to be running against the Democrat primary person, which is awesome, but Vivek's totally going to win. U.S. Senator from Ohio, John Husted, he won, so that's probably cool. Congressman David Joyce, he won in Ohio. So again, Ruley in Ohio. We got a bunch of people in Ohio he got across the line, so he got some great stuff going on. And again, the Trump magic is a big difference in helping. So thank you guys in those states specifically. Oh, sweet, Jim Jordan wins again. Beautiful. Come on, you guys all can agree, he's freaking awesome. Jim Jordan's one of the best in Congress right now. Hands down. I don't know if there's any other people I recognize. All right, anyway, they got all that. That's that. And we did that. Good. All right, real quick, guys, OTFspecial.com. OTFspecial.com. That is the magic portal. I love this stuff. It's how I start every morning. It is how it affects my body. Again, there's science going on. There's an energy component to it, which is nice. It's not huge. It's not crazy, but it's nice. Also, the satiety, the fact that my appetite's kind of curbed for a period of time is also awesome. Now, I just got another person that reached out and they told us. Now they just started; they're brand new. Okay, I think this person's 3 weeks into the program. I think it's Michael's his name. As of today, being 1 day away from being on the program, 3 weeks, down 12 pounds. Craving are getting fewer and fasting periods are getting easier and more consistent. Haven't checked waist size since I started. Not sure if I've lost any inches yet, but mostly working on being consistent. Now, again, Michael, that is fantastic. And I don't know if you wear stretchy pants. Maybe it is trickier then. But if you're wearing like jeans, that's one way. If there's suddenly room now, if it's you have to tighten the belt buckle one more. But I wouldn't worry about that. Like you said, consistency is the key. Twice you do the unicity. Again, just helps prolong some of these fastings, these cravings. It just helps with that. A lot of us have insulin resistance. This is the big thing, and I'm going to play a small video that's going to talk about that a little bit. But insulin resistance is a big part of the problems we have. Our bodies are so used to processing these dealing with these hyper-processed foods, these zero-calorie foods. I've talked about that a lot, how there's no such thing. If it's physical something, it has to be digested. Now, it might not be considered a carbohydrate. It might not be considered a protein. It might not be considered a fat, or it might not be considered an alcohol. Those are the only 4 things that will garner calorie counts. Anything outside of that, your body's still got to process, but it's not counted as calories. I don't even know what that means. Your body may never break it down. So it's like it's infinite calories or it's 0 calories. We're not really sure what to call it. That creates problems in our bodies. Many things like that are happening. So this product is amazing. OTFspecial.com, OTFspecial.com. You literally just mix it in, you drink it, and it's delicious. It's fantastic, in fact. They've got a few extra products too when you go to their store. Their protein powder, Signal is like Gatorade. Oh, so good. There's no sugar. It is one of the best. It's so good after workouts. It totally gets all those electrolytes back in you. It tastes amazing. They've got a whole slew of products, but this Unicity is really their Cadillac, and it's a great step in. And again, I'm not really that overweight. I'm like, I don't know, 5-6 pounds maybe, maybe 10 pounds right now. I guess maybe. If I really if I wanted to have washboard abs and try to be in a movie, 10 pounds. Okay, but I'm reasonably fit. Go to the gym every day. This is a product I still use. I love it. And Balanced is awesome. It's like a fibrous mixture, and you do it right before dinner, and your food drops into it and it kind of coats it, and it affects the way it digests. Some of it doesn't as much. So again, it starts to help with people that have A1C number issues, people that are diabetic, pre-diabetic. It's majorly helping. Even if you're not diabetic, this is helping. You're going to notice huge differences. I recommend to at least try it for 1 month, but I think you will be friggin' amazed. I want you to check this out. This is a really good video. It always gets flagged on YouTube for copyright, but I don't get paid on YouTube, so it doesn't matter. Anywho, check this out.
If you're constantly battling low energy, cravings, weight control, watching your health slip away, listen up. There's a simple daily protocol they don't want you to know about that's helping people ditch their meds and reclaim their health. Up to 88% of Americans potentially suffer from some degree of insulin resistance. The Feel Great protocol is a simple 2-step daily system designed to help your body work with you, not against you. Step 1. Unimate, a powerful yerba mate extract clinically shown to boost mood, increase mental clarity, and support fat burning. Step 2. A patented fiber matrix called Balance. Taken before meals, it helps regulate blood sugar, curb cravings, and support healthy insulin response. That's it. No crazy diets, no meds, just science-backed support your body actually understands. Feel Great is perfect for you if you have low energy, weight control, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, poor sleep, diabetes, snacking, sugar cravings, gut health, systemic inflammation. This isn't a trend, it's a transformation. Start today to reclaim your health with the Feel Great protocol.
It'll change your life, and it's changing all sorts of people's lives. I've got literally a whole list of people. They are sharing their testimonials with me. And the list keeps growing, guys. Keeps growing. And I read them to you. I've read every single one of them so far to you guys. But this is a product that's already changing people in my audience. Go to otfspecial.com, otfspecial.com. Check this product out. It will change your life. No matter where you are on that spectrum, 94% of us are having some sort of insulin imbalance. Not necessarily bad enough for a doctor to say anything, but maybe problem enough to cause some health issues from time to time. We don't need those. otfspecial.com, otfspecial.com. Healthy life, healthy living, healthy choices. You guys know this is the stuff I'm really into, all that crazy crap. This is definitely in the crazy crap category. Love it. Go to otfspecial.com, otfspecial.com. Hell yeah. All right, whoops. All right, this is where I wanted to be. All right, Change, we got some crazy-ass stuff going on. I want to start here. Spencer Pratt. Okay, guys, I apologize a teeny bit, but some of this is because this election's such a big damn deal. Mom Donnie was a big one when he got into what's going on in New York. But LA's got a chance. This dude's got a chance. So I'm going to use my platform to help him in any way. Maybe one of these days I'll have him on, but it's not really what I'm after. I love this dude. I love the fact that he's like coming from behind. You know, he's the underdog. He's some white dude that's running for mayor of Los Angeles. LA's city council would hate this dude. I love the idea. Check this out.
Please, I'm begging you. There's homeless drug addicts in front of the schools. My children aren't safe.
Look, if you were a transgender migrant, I could get you a free pussy.
Let's move the drug addicts closer.
Bass already solved crime. I endorse her.
Next!
Please, I just want to rebuild my home. It's been over a year.
Mom, look!
This is a machine. If we want to burn this town to the ground, pull through that!
I feel so close.
You can do it, Spencer!
Now.
And let the record reflect, I do not condone violence or violence upon other individuals, even though this was generated by AI. Well done by Chris Pratt. You are doing a great job. He was also on with another individual, and I am going to play that here next. But I do want to point out that they all had their second debate. And Chad Bianco and Hilton for governor, this is governor stuff, are finally not going after each other in any way, shape, or form. They realized, everybody's realized, people have gotten to them and they're like, dude, you all got to love each other, promote each other, okay? I mean, not quite, but don't attack each other. That's for damn sure. And what's funny is the Democrats are stuck in a situation where they have to attack each other. They try to attack the Republican guys, but they're just kind of shaking it off. They're made of Teflon, really. They're sticking to the policies. They're making it easy. And they're trying to take down the people that are, like, I think Becerra was the one that was ranking highest. And then what was the one right below? Chad Bianco. Well, he's B+. They said Becerra. He won the debate, whatever the case is. Steve Hilton probably was in at 3. Yeah, Tom Steyer is the other one. So Steyer and Becerra are the two on the Democratic side. But their numbers are not that great. And so now the other Democrats that are in there, like Katie Porter, that crazy lady that yelled at the assistant, which she's owned up to give her the points that she's trying to gain from it. I think it still shows how big of a biatch she is. And still she seems to have that biatchness inside of her. It seems to just, like, I can almost smell it and I'm watching her on TV. You know what I mean? Like, it's like entirely not possible. But yet, what is that fucking smell? It's probably, I've been portered. you know? Been portered. Here is Chris Pratt. He was on with Will Kane, and I think this is pretty sweet and worth the time. I'm going to even leave it at normal time. Check it out. Well, try to check it out. Let's see if I can do this right.
Spencer Pratt. Spencer, it's good to see you. Thanks for being with us here today. I'd love your reaction to Karen Bass, who says you're exploiting the grief of people in the Palisades.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Karen Bass forgot that she let my house burn down and my parents' house burn down. And I had actual neighbors burn alive across the street from my childhood home. The only grief is my community's grief that I initially started this fight on behalf of. And she forgets I've received 2 community advocate awards from the Pacific Palisades community. So it's the most insane, psycho, diabolical thing I've heard in a minute, but it's not shocking. This is the same woman that will allow 7,000 houses to burn to the ground, 12 people to burn alive, and then actively cover it up, get caught covering it up, and then say that the LA Times is lying, even though they have the emails where she's altering the after action report, which, as far as I'm concerned, is obstruction of justice. So it's disgusting. It's disgusting. The fact that she's trying to think that I want to be in this position. I want to be back in my life that she let burn down. That's why I got into this race, because somebody like her should not be in a position of power ever again in history.
Spencer, your ad, since I saw you last, has gotten a lot of attention online. On the other hand, Karen Bass did pick up a big endorsement today. She got the endorsement of former vice presidential candidate Kamala Harris, who said that Bass has done a good job stamping out crime and homelessness. Your reaction?
Yeah, obviously Kamala Harris loves Karen Bass because of Karen Bass letting the Pacific Palisades and Malibu burn down. Kamala Harris was able to get a $2 million discount on her new house in Malibu that if Karen Bass hadn't let burn most of Malibu and most of Palisades to the ground, she would have never been able to get that $2 million discount. So it really does not matter who endorses Bass, because the people that endorse me are the women and mothers that want to feel safe again in the streets of LA. And my 2 opponents will not enforce any laws, and that's why women and mothers and kids do not feel safe in the streets of LA. So she can have all the political endorsements she wants. She can go do all the photo ops she wants with Trump in the White House. And, you know, they're calling her MAGA Karen all over X because she was the one walking out with the MAGA teddy bear out of the White House. So she'll take any endorsement to keep her corrupt politician career going here.
Yeah, Spencer, you do seem to be getting some traction online. As I mentioned, the ads that you're cutting are really seeming to cut through. Why is that?
Because my ads are the truth. These politicians do not have to live the consequences of their decisions. My ad is that simple. And for Nithya Raman to say her kids, the funniest part about that is I was in a suit outside of a public street for 1 second. She fights moms in her district that want to get drug dealing, drug addicts away from schools and parks. And she fights these moms. She's on camera saying there's no difference between 1 foot and 500 foot with drug addicts near kids. So now she's concerned about the safety of kids when that has to be her kids. What about all the parents who have kids that you fight because there actually are drug addicts that are exposing themselves naked in front of kids all across her district? So these people are diabolical, truly.
All right, Spencer Pratt, thanks for joining us again here today. It was good to see you a few weeks ago.
The votes that we are having right now, certainly for who is going to be on the ticket, are arguably some of the most important votes we will get this year. In fact, those are less cheated, and I think it's one of the things that people don't appreciate necessarily either. They're not investing a bunch into cheating on these elections, though they might be thinking about it now. This is the opportunity for us to make sure it's not a rhino if you're a Republican. Or in the case of like some of the states that are open primaries, that you can vote for the person that's best. As opposed to what we've been saying all along, oh, lesser of evils. No, those days are done. Now, again, one of my biggest concerns is how easy it is to buy people. Greed is a weird thing, and I don't know. I think everybody has a price. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if everyone does. Some people are wired differently, but it's just tough. So, fire union chief, there's a lawsuit with Karen Bass right now. Karen Bass, when the fire first happened, the fire chief, the DEI chick, but still nonetheless, saying the truth, basically was that we are understaffed. We don't have enough fire people. We don't have enough trucks. We don't have enough a bunch of stuff. Like, the budget's been crept down, and we can't necessarily. That was why we weren't able to amass a large enough attack on this thing. In which case, she saw that as an attack. She then fired that chief. Well, the fire union mayor, or president or whatever, union chief, I guess they call him, Freddie Escobar, he came out and said the same thing, backed her up. So then Mayor Karen Bass decides to put out public statement that the overtime hours he had were incorrect and were egregious, and that he was pocketing money and doing all sorts of crazy acts. She had no evidence, no proof. There was no investigation. She just leaked information to the press, and it ruined his career. It ruined his reputation. So this dude's suing Karen Bass, this pile of trash, this communist lover. She loves the Cuban Castro. She's like, she's in love with Castro. The chick is a communist. 100% communist. 100% guaranteed. Promise you, communist. She's also, sued, the alleged smear. So there was that. El Cajon Mayor, Bill Wells, he's saying the leftist immigration policies made the state dangerous. There is this new policy they've got. It's SB 54, which essentially states that it is illegal for any municipality to coordinate in any way, even have discussion with any kind of federal agency in regard to immigration. Period. End of story. So that means that if we arrest somebody for, say, DUI, and we know that the person is not legally here, we're not allowed to call ICE and say, come pick these guys up. We're also not allowed to call ICE, say, for example, we arrest somebody we suspect because of their tattoos or whatever, that they're an MS-13 gang member. We're not allowed to verify that with the feds through their database or any database that the federal government might have access to. In other words, communication between the state authorities and any federal agencies about immigration is against state law. And they've got this question about which law you're supposed to file, because technically, from the standpoint of California's law, it's illegal to not follow federal laws. To not follow federal laws is illegal in California. That's a law. So the law enforcement's like, so which is it? You're asking us to break the law willingly, which is technically against the law, which you can then bust me for, if you so desire, which is how they control the police. Through the unions, through retirement, and through threats. It's the system, guys. It's been like this for a long time. They've been building this system against us forever. We're just finally figuring it out. That's all. People are waking up to it finally. That's all. Don't be angry. LA blew $250,000 of cash on ICE signs. Yep. Tax money, baby. So they could put up these anti-ICE signs all over the place. This property is owned and controlled by the city of Los Angeles. It may only be used for its intended city purposes and not used for immigration enforcement as a staging area, processing location, or operations base. This message will self-destruct in 12 seconds. Salmon y ser sentados, por favor. That just means remain seated, please. At least so I can tell when I'm in the line at the Matterhorn at Disneyland. Salmon y ser sentados, por favor. I think that's what they say. I don't know. All the people in Spanish, I know you're going to correct me. I can already see it coming. Gonna email, hey Dan, your Spanish sucks. I'll be like, you know what? You're right. LA commuter misery. Northbound 110 freeway shuts down. It's just some of the fun about living here. That's all. This is like the thoroughfare into LA. The 110's like, I don't know, arguably one of the most important freeways. There was homeless people that were living underneath it, and they had stuff caught on fire. Maybe it was a meth lab, who fucking knows, and it burned the freeway. So the northbound side has had so much fire that they have literally kept it closed. It's going to remain closed until they're able to assess it. And frankly, it's still too hot, still too messed up. They don't know. It might be damaged. They might literally have to fix this section of the freeway, which is pretty gnarly. Now, this could be terrorism in a larger sense, too, very easily, because these types of things are it's already happened a few times here in LA, where large fires underneath bridges. There was one in Baltimore. They've done it in a few places, so it's something they are fond of doing. And it does affect asphalt. Asphalt is definitely not, it gets unhappier and unhappier as it gets hotter and hotter. It starts to revert back to its old ways, if you will. LA Unified. I'm sorry I'm picking on my state, but it needs to be said, because somewhere, this is probably the worst of it in the nation, because we're the best. LA Unified soft handling of pervert teachers has been probed by feds. You think perverts like getting probed? I wonder. Makes me, I bet most pervs like to get probed. I'm going to say that's probably where my money's at. My money's on the perv wanting to probe. Probed pervs make a difference, Anywho, Los Angeles Unified. When you get a pervy teacher, they just throw them to another district. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell the parents. Don't tell anyone. It's like the Catholic Church. Just move them around. Nobody needs to know what's the chances they're going to do it again. The D.C. Police, I'm picking on other people now. D.C. Police Union has just confirmed that termination papers have been served to numerous high-ranking top brass command staff in D.C. Police. And the police union came out and said, and we approve of these actions. This through an interdepartmental, what do they call it? The group that internal affairs, their investigation, they found that these cops literally changed records, literally made it less crime ridden, literally altered records. They've been fired. That's pretty bad stuff. Seattle, we love Seattle. It's such a safe place. 77-year-old man gets off a bus, walking home. Two black guys, well, they're dark in color, but when you say black nowadays, I guess we've got to be more distinct on which version of black. Now, again, I'm not 100% sure of anything, but I do know we have one of their names, and his name's Ahmed Abdullahi Osman. It rolls off my tongue. He's apparently from Bellevue, Washington. Actually lived there before. He just walks up to this dude. I'm not going to play it, but walks up to the 77-year-old guy that's just walking down the street, and then just knocks him down, just messes him up, put him in a hospital for like a week. Dude was jacked. And he gets arrested. The other guy gets away. They both beat him up, but he gets arrested, the one guy, and he's literally out before they even have a chance to convict him of anything. Like, before the charges are even filed, the dude's already been let loose. So he assaults somebody on the street just for no reason. There wasn't even a discussion. Just walked up and just decided he didn't like that dude. Kind of like that guy that stabbed the girl on the train, and right? This crazy people. And they put him right back out on the street. Good job, Seattle. I mean, again, any person that's not married to their party, but actually is paying attention to what's literally happening. And again, it's Trump's fault. I don't know. Good luck spinning that. I'm sure someone's going to try to. I think California's trying to blame our problems on Trump. It's like, that's so not Trump. Florida Attorney General demands House impeach judge who freed convicted pedophile, allowing him to murder his 5-year-old stepdaughter, Missy Mogul, just a week after he gets out of jail. This judge just let him out. Killed her. Killed the girl. We got problems. We got a former Clinton pollster, Mark Penn. He's talking about how really the people on the left are bumming out right now, and they realize that everyone's moving further left. It's not an issue of, whoops, damn it, I hate when I do that. Then it's like I can't reproduce it and try, but I do it on accident so easily. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I got skills. That said, here is this is a left-leaning pollster, at least a Clinton pollster. He's probably like many people that were Democrats. Like, I don't know what's happened to my party.
Real question is, has the Democratic Party moved too far to the left to be acceptable? Are candidates like Plattner, and obviously Mandami and AOC get so much publicity, and obviously Jeffries, in order to get the speakership himself, has moved so much more aggressively left in terms of the rhetoric. Is this party going to go into the midterms and move back to the center, or is it going to really be seen as too far to the left? Right now, you can see in the polls that despite the fact that the voters are unhappy with the economy and the Republicans, they obviously think that the Democratic Party has drifted too far to the left, and that's why it's coming out lower than the Republicans in virtually every poll.
Yeah. So, yeah, again, everybody's talking about the failures, the Republican Party, and they are. I mean, Congress is absolutely horrible. I'm hoping this primary thing, we're changing a lot of stuff, and we are, frankly. But, yeah, we've got a lot of people that need to wake up, and are, I believe. Nancy Mace posted this. She actually named a couple people. That's kind of interesting. She said, the files are out. Our subpoena has uncovered settlements totaling $338,000 from Congress's sexual harassment slush fund. 9 members named. Records before 2004 have been destroyed. 357 members of Congress voted to keep it hidden. We're leading the charge to release them despite their opposition. 2007, Rodney Alexander, $15,000. 2009, Office of Carolyn McCarthy, 2 cases resulting in 1 settlement, $8,000. 2010, Eric Massa 1, first time, $85,000. 2010, Eric Massa 2, $20,000. 2010, Eric Massa 3, $10,000. 2010, John Conyers 1, $50,000. 2014, Blake Ferenthold, $84,000. 2014, John Conyers, severance pay, $27,111.75. 2017, Patrick Meehan, 2 cases resulting in 1 settlement, severance pay $39,250. Now, I guess my only question would be to Mace is that everybody in the past, at least from 2007 to 2017? Are you telling me that's literally it? Like, this is what we're making a lot of noise about? You made it. I mean, I even figured that it was way worse than that. Like, are you telling me that's it? We just got Rodney, Carolyn, Eric, John, Blake, and Patrick. So 6 people over that length of time have been total whores. I mean, first off, I just have an impossible time believing that's it. So anyway, I hope she would be like, no, there's a butt ton more. Like, that's what I want to hear. I mean, she probably wouldn't put it that way because that would, anyway. FBI raids office in Virginia, Democrat Senate President Pro Tem. She is in connection of major corruption probe. They also raided the marijuana or cannabis dispensary next door, a business that she might be affiliated with, or cash business that might very well be helping financially. Yeah, so that's not being said. It's not hinted anywhere in this article, but that's why they probably went in there. Now, I wonder what kind of records they have. I'm sure for some sort of tax breaks, they're donating to all sorts of things, and I'm sure people are looking the other way because she was the office of Virginia's Democrat Senate President Pro Temp, and her name is Louise Lucas, something to that effect. Louise Lucas, whatever. Lois Lucas, maybe. It's probably Lois. Yes, federal aviation employee has been arrested. They threatened to kill Trump in an email. Super smart. Don't do that. That's a big no-no. Barack Obama, it says Trump has caused genuine tension in his marriage to Michelle. What I think this is awesome, or admission of, is the rumor has been verified, We've been talking about this rumor for a while that they've been separated. They've not been spending time together for over a year. Longer than that. It's been a while, right? That they almost are never together. And so we're under the impression that they're not together anymore. Maybe Obama likes them younger. Maybe Michelle got too old. Let's just say it that way. Trump has caused genuine tension in my marriage, is what Barack is saying. So that sounds like their marriage is love on the rocks. Ain't no big surprise. Donald Trump says the White House ballroom is going up rapidly on the east side of the White House. The only reason the cost has changed is because I guess there was some studies and it's going to be twice the size, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, it's gotten almost twice as expensive. It's still going to be about $400 million. Still not going to cost any extra money. It's still going to be on time. It's still going to be under budget. Everyone's trying to report it as it's somehow doubled already in budget. And it wasn't really, anyway, it should have been reported differently earlier on, and it hasn't been. I don't know. I believe that. United States Air Force says the former Qatari 747 Boeing jet is now ready for the USA paint scheme. It is ready. It's been fixed up. It's got all the equipment and technologies in it. That was that, the L3 fleet or somewhere. Anyway, they just had $1 billion IPO, I think they did recently, this company. L3 Harris, I think is what they're called. But they're the ones that did this, and they're done. And I'm sure that's why they got a bigger slice of the pie, because they've proven they freaking are awesome. So they had one aircraft. They had to basically make it safe and make it sweet and make it ready for the United States. So this is a brand new, basically, 747 8i. I think the 9 series is out already, but it's way newer than the current Air Force One. So this thing's going to go and get the new paint job that Trump loves. And I'm going to bet you money Trump's going to be using this very soon. This will tie into the 4th of July. It'll probably tie into his trip to China. Ooh. Is it going to be our new magnificent plane, which a lot of the intelligence agencies out there, especially China, don't have a bunch of records on yet? Don't know what emissions it makes, don't know what back doors they've already had on it. Are we switching that before we go to China? Huh, that's strange. Wonder why. Yeah, it's a thought. This is it, the lead story here, guys. I don't want to beat you up too long here, but this is incredible. Okay, so Chris Ray, there's extra his name, and at some point we're supposed to love him, right? No, love him, hate him, love him, hate him, love him, hate him. Oh my God, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Right? Chris Ray is a sleeper, future marker. Sleeper. He's a sleeper. Ray, we're supposed to not hate Ray for some reason, right? Why was that? We all had a hard time with that. Chris Ray, and he was just always so kind of like, a lot of said, what does Ray know and when will he release it to the public? Think Ray yesterday, think whatever today, right? Rosenstein, but still, Ray. He was all over the Q posts. Rays of lights. Trust Ray. Trust Sessions. Trust Kansas. Trust Horowitz. Trust Huber. Probably the 5 guys that were heavily behind Q, for that matter. So, yes, a lot of people get called out. Trey Gowdy, that guy freaks me out, man. He reminds me, is it the Fifth Element or whatever? The dude that wears the plastic half of his head, that whatever that leader guy's name is. Trey Gowdy reminds me of that dude for some, whatever. Anyway, that character, I should say. Trust Ray, blah, blah, blah. You get the point, right? So there's like 4 videos here, and I want to kind of play them in order. This is well done, so good job, MJ Truth Ultra. You guys should definitely follow this person. Am I not following? I'm not following? Why? That's stupid. There you go. Now I am. MJ Truth Ultra awesome. I see their Telegram stuff too frequently, I believe. Anons, are you noticing a pattern? First one, Maria Bartiromo, criticizing Trump for not firing Ray. Check this part out.
Running this Biden thing. The difference is I fire people. I fired Comey. I got rid of him.
You didn't fire Christopher Wray.
Well, you know what? At the time, I don't know. Let's see what the final judgment is. But I didn't fire Christopher Wray. I didn't fire people I would have, but I fired a lot of people. You know, I had turnover. They have no turnover right now.
How do you know if you get back in, you don't have a network of people around you working against you.
I will, and so will anybody else that gets in as a Republican. These people are sick. These are sick people.
But do you feel better this time around because you know what to expect?
Well, I also know people that I didn't know before. I know now the smart ones. I know the dumb ones. I know the weak ones and the strong ones. I know tremendous amounts of people that I know will do a great job. But I was different. When I didn't like a job that somebody was done, I fired them, just like The Apprentice. I said, you're fired. You have to go.
What about some of your former officials? Do you see them being in this next cabinet? Mike Pompeo, for example.
I don't know.
John Radcliffe?
He's fantastic. I mean, he's a great guy. John Radcliffe has done a great job.
Dr. Ben Carson?
He's done a fantastic job.
So you're expecting them to be in your cabinet?
Some of them, yeah. I mean, if somebody did a good job, I would do that, yeah.
Someone would do a good job, that's for sure. And I think that's what we've got. So the second one is Dan Bongino, given a list of people to rate 1 to 10. You know, who's good, who's bad, right? 10 being the traitors to America. Here's what he says. It's kind of interesting.
1 to 10. 10 being the worst.
Yeah.
James Comey.
Easy. 10. Easy.
1 to 10. Christopher Wray.
Jury's still out, but definitely in that
8, 9, 10.
The only reason I say the jury's still out is because I'm not sure what was deliberate ignorance. In other words, don't tell me because I don't want to know, and what was deliberate. So the jury's still out on that.
Clapper and Brennan.
Oh, only because 10 has to mean something. I'll give Brennan a 10 and Clapper a 9, but Clapper's probably a 10 too. But 10 has to mean something because or else the rating system doesn't mean anything.
Who else should be on that 10 list?
Stroke. Peter Stroke.
What about Page?
Yeah, I would. The fact that Stroke was a manager makes him worse. I'm telling you, they're all in that 8 to 10 band. But, you know, there's nothing like a rating system where everybody gets an A, right? You can't have that. Or everybody gets a 10. I would throw, in there as well. In that band, I would put Priestep in there.
McCabe?
Oh, McCabe is another easy 10. I mean, McCabe is these guys.
And this is,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I'm sure. And the thing about McCabe, I think that McCabe would almost be like a 10.5 because what bothers me about McCabe is, listen, Sean, when Michael Milken got caught in that big financial thing, like he dedicated the rest of his life to charity.
Yeah.
There are people to this day go, I don't care. He ripped me off and he sucks. And you're allowed to think that. But love him or hate him, he at least made an effort to correct his wrongs. This McCabe, I would watch him. I'm the deputy now. Like, I'm in his office. He was the deputy. I'm now in your office. I know everything you knew. I'm watching this guy on CNN, and I'm like, the freaking,
you lying
hyena balls on this guy. I know he's lying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the fact that he is still, like that time, he comes after me. There was that DC incident where the guy had screamed like Allahu Akbar. And I was very candid with the public. I said, we are investigating this as an act of terrorism. We're not investigating it as a candy store robbery, you dipshit. The guy freaking screamed Allahu Akbar. I don't care about your euphemisms games. I'm the deputy. We're going to speak clearly with the American people. He goes, I cannot believe they said this. I'm like, that's why you're on CNN right now and I'm not.
Yeah, these people are insane, right? Insane. And again, so the third thing. So now we got Kash Patel saying he kind of goes along with Dan Bongino's theory now too.
We got to get it right. So we found that room that Dan Bongino talked about, the burn bag room.
Explain a burn bag.
It's basically a large paper bag that you use to destroy and literally shred and burn classified information. So we not only found burn bags in a room that was locked away in FBI headquarters.
And they weren't burned.
They weren't burned, but the room was also off the map. It wasn't on our blueprint. And nobody had access to it. So
how did you find it?
Well, that's what we do. That's what I do. I know that these people put it in places for us to never find. But I also know what Dan talked about and you talked about. There are a lot of good people at the FBI. Now, we got rid of a lot of bad people since Trump took
What
over.
percentage is gone?
Every single one of the people that weaponize law enforcement is gone.
You identify them, threw them out.
And they're terminated.
Okay, so Dan's theory, and I'd love to get your thoughts on it, was he believes that people purposely saved this information, left little crumbs in a trail, like Little Red Riding Hood, wanting you to find it. That it was saved by design by good people, special agents, you know, the rank and file, good guys that want to do good. You believe that?
I think there's a lot of truth to that, because I think the rank and file wanted the FBI to be restored to what it used to be before the weaponization of law enforcement. And so what we have to do is methodically catalog all this stuff. We're triaging computer hard drives from previous directors and deputies. We're looking at the totality of information. We're finding jurisdiction. And by the way,
yeah, the stuff that has been hidden is off the charts. Off the charts. And we're getting glimpses into it. Think about the ramifications of this. Think about how extreme this is, that Chris Wray may very well have left burn bags in this room, literally possibly on the last day or whatever, before he did something, hid information, set it on a timer, whatever. They got tricky, cool ways to do it. But this thing was off grid. It was in a part of the building that didn't exist, like a room that might have been manufactured secretly. Chris Wray could have done a lot of that stuff. Put a bunch of records in there. Because they talk about the burn bags, like he said, shredded and burned. Well, and I know you can undo shredding. I know the technology exists. That's just what a shit job that'd have to be. AI would make it better, maybe, but cross-stitch shredding, I don't know. It's got to be really, really hard. I'm sure it's possible. Oh, Lord. Can you imagine putting that jigsaw puzzle together? But I don't think these things were shredded. I think they were in burn bags. Yeah, just throw the whole damn thing in there and burn it. Yeah, F it. We didn't bother shredding it for a reason. This was all, it seems, set up. So what other neat information do we have inside these rooms? Right now, the deep state's freaking out. That's what's so significant about this. Deep state is panicking because they're like, shit, what? Shit. We thought Ray was shit. We thought Ray was on our side. But nope. Apparently not. And that's where the Q post with the line went through it. I think that came out intentionally. Don't trust him. So everybody would stop, because we were probably fucking it up. So the deep state finally left Ray alone because we finally decided he was an asshole. And Ray's like, yeah, it'll suck, but whatever. So yeah, there probably are some people that play the asshole. I don't think there's many, because most good people really have a hard time with that. But they'll do what they got to do. A lot would. But making it look like you're a traitor to your country when you're not, that's a big role to play. Very few people would put that shoe on. Former FedEx driver Tanner Horner, who killed the 7-year-old girl Athena Strand, has been sentenced to capital punishment. He will be executed in Texas in the very, very near future, most likely. It's pretty horrific what this dude did. It's just horrific. Cole Allen, he's had an additional charge added. The actual attempted murder of the federal officer with a deadly weapon has been added to his repertoire, if you will. So he's got 4, I think, charges now against him. So that is a done deal. Top DOJ official predicts the Supreme Court's going to declare AR-15 rifles legal everywhere in America. Just a blanket ruling. Boom. Because of all the different cases, they're just going to be like, yeah, let's just friggin' rule on this once and for all. Minnesota Senate approves stringent gun restrictions amid fraud scandal. 100% sure this dude's definitely drives a big truck too, right? This guy is definitely lacking in the genitalia department. I'm 100% sure of it because someone's compensating here. Hello. Just saying, it's like, really? You happy to see me, big guy? I don't want to move my hands because then Twitter or X, actually I'll call it sexual, but if I make innuendo, what if you put that? I have issues. President Donald Trump, airport's been named after him. It's official. The new logo. I guess I'll play this. What the hell? We'll let these people talk about it. Save me a moment. So I'm going to take a sip. Arguably, I thought that was going to be way cooler than it was. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe I can edit it. Maybe I will. I probably won't. But still cool. It just made me think how much I love that plane and X-plane. Yeah, Donald Trump. They named, what's the Miami airport or something? So one of the airports. I don't know. Trump Jr. said something. New logos released to rename Palm Beach Airport. There it is. President Donald J. Trump International Airport in Florida. The renaming comes after Governor Ron DeSantis authorized it by signing a new law. Ron DeSantis is definitely, I think publicly, I think a lot of this is to make up for what did happen and then what's about to happen likely, but all the fact that he ran against Trump, that many said, and I felt it was likely possible too, I was kind of on the bandwagon, but that Ron was only doing it to try to pull votes away from others, and I think he effectively did that. But we're friends, we go way back. Ronald never actually attacked Trump at all, that I can recall. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I don't think he did. He played it very interesting, and that was always the thing that made me realize, all right, he's not, this is a ploy. This is a psyop, if you will. Now, again, that goes back to the point of, like, Ray having to be the asshole and look like a traitor. See, Trump, it's not good to have any tarnish on him. So having Ron attack Trump wasn't going to help Trump. Trump wouldn't have been cool with it, and it would have hurt their relationship publicly, right? So it's very interesting how the bigger picture plays out. A lot of people got to factor those factors in. That's not redundant at all. No, not even a teeny bit. Trump is trying to seek a halt of the $83 million payment to E. Jean Carroll, trying to get this up to the Supreme Court, which I think he's going to be able to do. They'll probably put a stay on it because it would be irreparable for her to get the money. This is going to stop. Guys, he's probably not going to have to pay this. This is going to get to the Supreme Court, and it's going to be an 8-1 decision. And I can't wait to read the dissent. I can't wait. Fantastic. This is weird. I don't know. I don't really care about Bitcoin. You guys know that, but a lot of you do. Canada's going to ban all Bitcoin ATMs in the country. That's weird. So apparently there are machines, I'm assuming, that you were able to convert Bitcoin into Canadian dollars, and it would spit those out. I guess there 4,000 of these machines were all over the place. They're removed. So all you Bitcoiners, you're going to be a little upset. Crypto will kind of flat right now. It was down a teeny bit this morning. Now it's bad, but crude oil went down a bit. And so because of that, gold and silver are feeling fine right now. And again, I've told you guys this was going to happen. Price of oil is directly proportionate to how much it costs to mine gold and silver. That's what it really comes down to in a nutshell. If it becomes super expensive to mine gold and silver, we'll kind of stop mining gold and silver. So, it's just, it's a funny little inverse proportionate relationship. Stock market's up decently today, 1.5% dish. Oh shit, there it goes. As it updates, Nasdaq's up 2%. Good job, Nasdaq. So yeah, the price of oil going down seems to make people happy. Though oddly, the VIX is up, which is the confidence fact, barely. Well, 17's not a bad ranking, I guess. I don't know, whatever. People are reasonably confident right now. Whatever. Get out of their system, guys. Seriously, the 401ks are, who knows what they're investing in, but that's my point. If you have a 401k or an IRA and you want to protect your buying power, which is what it comes down to, whatever you can get right now in literally precious metals, specifically gold and silver. Silver's an interesting one. Now, silver's, here's the problem. Let me just kind of spell it out real quick. Gold, you're not going to make any money on, but you're going to save buying power no matter what. No matter what happens. Economy could be great. Economy could be crap. The value of the gold will stay the same. You're not going to make money on it. So when the economy's good, you'd rather invest that money into other stuff that's actually going to go up in value, like 5, 10, 6, 12%, right? Like that's what you want. Gold's not going to do that. When economies crash, the price of gold goes way up, but that's because the value of the money has gone way down. Gold's still staying the same. It's protecting. Silver, on the other hand, silver actually does work. Silver does stuff. Silver's involved in the world. It's got friends, if you will. Silver's actually got some multiplier baked in. 400, pretty solid by the end of the year. It's what we're expecting. There's this once this Iran thing stops, the price of silver is going to spike a lot. It needs to. It's going to. It's where the world needs to be. And it's because of many reasons. Mainly manufacturing, mainly because of mining, because it's expensive, and we have silver mining here, and we want to turn it back on, and it needs to be sort of more expensive to be able to turn it back on. So the paper contracts of silver are being wound down and or, well, whatever they're still carrying on the books is going to butthole them badly. It could have been worse the way I was wanting to say it, so it's not bad. So go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Get out of their system. These guys are going to help you do it tax-free, penalty-free. They're going to give you up to 10% free silver. Silver's really the kicker, okay? So right now it's sitting at 75. It's going to go up, especially if this war ends, the price of silver is going to start to spike. Again, getting out of their system before the prices get higher, because again, it's going to continue to go up for a while. Our system is coming down. The Fed is coming down. We got a new Fed president coming in. We got a whole lot of rigmarole that's about to happen, guys. Get out of that system. Pull or protect at least some of what you got in that system. Keep pumping it in there. Who cares? Especially if your employer is matching it. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. drslikesgold.com. drslikesgold.com. Get out of that system while you can, because they're going to make it hard. Liquidity issues. Get out of that system. drslikesgold.com and save yourself a bunch, and you'll be stoked that you did. That's for dang sure. FBI reportedly launched a criminal probe into Fauci's bat virus mad scientist Vincent Munster for smuggling deadly pathogen samples from Africa into this country. Oops. He got busted. Kind of looks a little freaky, I guess, but certainly one of the beagle puppy killing Fauci ways. Rand Paul trying to get back into people's good graces, and frankly, Rand, this isn't going to do it, buddy. You are so far into the negative zone in my book. You seriously better, I don't know, I can't even imagine what you would have to do to be able to look like you're not a total 100% dick, right? You're 100% dick that every once in a while does a nice thing. It still makes you 100% dick. I'm just shocked you did something nice this one time. But next week, he's holding a hearing with whistleblower who's going to testify publicly about the COVID cover-up. All right, we'll see. We'll see about that, Randy. Can I call you Randy? Randy? Mexico's Claudia Sheinbaum. She's caught between a rock and a hard place. He's stuck between a rock and a hard case. I love the Sean Connery guy. Anyway, Mexico's Claudia Sheinbaum. She's stuck right now. She's basically got cartel people within her government, and she's got the government of the United, people are coming out and saying, dude, the CIA is literally operating in our country. We know this for sure. And she's like, really? You don't say? That's strange. I should be angry, and I am angry. I'm fiercely angry. We're going to say no to this. We say nope to dope and ugh to drugs. Needless to say, she's in a rock and a hard place case right now. At some point, we'll probably fly her out. I think she's playing her part. I very much do. I think she's on the right side of the fence, but she can't act like that. She certainly has to look like to the people inside her country that no, USA. F you, USA, I say. But she doesn't mean it. Trump knows that. Farage, he's out working this Starmer guy. Starmer's on the campaign trail, and nobody in Starmer's party even wants to be seen with Starmer. Starmer is and when I say Starmer, I mean Starmer, that guy, in case you've forgotten. He wasn't here at the moment, but Starmer was he was on par for that one. Needless to say, nobody wants to be with him. He's like Biden. Starmer is dying a wonderfully painful death. We're all enjoying watching it happen on stage. He's like, it's like that old horrible plays where they Spent a day and a half dying. Britain's feckless Prime Minister Keir Starmer may be jobless after tomorrow's election. I think the election is Thursday, which is, today's Wednesday, right? Man, how bad is that? Anywho, Starmer might not have that same look on his face. I don't know if it changes or not. It's funny how many people that I dislike end up looking like someone that I dislike. That's very funny. I have this person from my past that I dislike, and everybody that I dislike seems to be them. It is beautiful. It's fabulous. Trump's German Chancellor Merz, he's supposedly in the 10% range of popularity in his country right now. People that approve, 10%. Damn. Anywho, Romanian globalist government collapses after losing no confidence vote in parliament. So they are done with the EU. They're pissed at the EU. They got rid of the bastard EU government that the EU's been trying to force on them. Like literally, this is more of the Merz trying to, I think, not Merz, but who's the von der Leyen, that chick, like the Brussels, trying to force their ways. The Brussels sprouts. Right? Nobody likes Brussels sprouts. They are actually kind of good if you cook them right. But nobody likes Brussels sprouts. Fuck those things. Brussels. That's what I think of you and your little flowerette. That, if cooked properly, is delicious. What did I do? Oh, Iran. Can't just hop over Iran. We got some incredible stuff here. Let's check this out. We got, we'll make it. It's going to be... I hate how I move it used to be an hour show. Now it's an hour and 30. It's like, good Lord, what's going to happen? I'm heading towards 2 hours, guys. It's going to be scary. Anyways, I love you guys. Let's go.
If you had said a couple of months ago that one thing that would be accomplished by all this is that the entire Middle East would be unified against Iran openly, that's a pretty remarkable accomplishment.
There's no question, Charlie. At the beginning of this war on February 28th, when the U.S. and Israel launched its strikes, it appeared that one of Iran's goals was to sever the link between the Gulf states, certainly here in the UAE, and Washington. In fact, the UAE here received over 2,800 missiles and drones during the war. That's twice the amount of firepower that was launched in here than any other country, including Israel. So the UAE says they've shot down about 95% of the incoming, but certainly it's been impacted, its oil fields, its gas fields. But thankfully, UAE had thought about that pipeline like the Saudis, so they do have a plan B. But again, it only ships about 50% of its daily oil production.
Yeah, let's just hope not a lot of damage was done.
Yeah, we have a bit of a issue going on, but things are looking better. And again, I just, for all you people that are like me that are American, again, I've been looking at the maps. That's really been a big deal to me. It's like, look at the map, make sure you understand the area. But yeah, you've got Iran up here, giant-ass country, huge country, by the way, huge country. It is, I think, close to the size of Alaska, a little bigger maybe, but right around there, though. It's like right around that size. It's huge. Iran's a very, very big country. And then, so yeah, the Persian Gulf, here's the strait, this little tiny area, and Iran owns all the land along it. So that's why so many people are trying to stay down over here, UAE. There's a whole group. I've got a picture of it. They're all flocking down over here because it's far away. Like whatever missiles they got, they're not long range, or these little fast attack boats can't make it all the way across the Gulf. This Gulf's reasonably large here. This is, I don't know, 100 miles maybe. It's like, I think 28 or something at the smallest part. I don't know how you angle it, but it's like roughly around there, 28, 30, which is basically the distance from California coast to Catalina for me, right? So it's like you can see Catalina from land sometimes. It's a trip if you got, good enough air quality. So interesting, for sure. We've got some more. Here's Marco Rubio talking about are we any closer to getting Iran's nuclear materials? This was actually this was a brilliant interview, or not interview, but press conference that Rubio gave, I think while, this is his next job, literally, while Kelly's out. But it was really well done. All the questions he took, the speech he gave, it was really good. It was 30, 40 minutes. Excellent. He did a brilliant job. And Marco Rubio is an extraordinarily talented individual that will, I think, live in politics probably for a while, hopefully.
On the rising oil and gas prices, the president has said that this is a small price to pay for getting rid of a nuclear weapon. But 10 weeks in, are we any closer to getting rid of Iran's nuclear material.
Yeah, but look, here's the way to think about Iran, and this is what I described at the very beginning of this. What was Iran's plan? You have to understand what their plan was. Their plan was they were going to build this conventional shield where they would have so many thousands of missiles and drones and rockets that they couldn't be attacked. And behind that conventional shield that they were trying to build, they would then break out and do whatever they wanted with their nuclear program. They no longer have that conventional shield. Okay, we told you guys from the very beginning, and we're very consistent in this messaging. The operation that has concluded was going to destroy their Navy. They have no Navy left. They don't. Not a Navy. They have small boats and Boston whalers, but they don't have a Navy left. They don't have an Air Force. I challenge you. When is the last time you read or heard about an Iranian jet flying anywhere? They don't have an Air Force. Their missile launching capability has been substantially degraded, and their industrial base, their defense industrial base, has been severely, severely damaged. So their ability to build a shield behind which they could hide their nuclear program was wiped out. That's a very substantial achievement, and that was the purpose of this operation from day one.
Their nuclear material in order for this war to end.
Well, that's one of the topics that needs to be discussed. I don't know about. I think you're linking it. The operation is over. Epic Fury, as the president notified Congress, we're done with that stage of it. Okay, we're now on to this project of freedom. As far as a negotiation is concerned, I think the president's been clear that part of the negotiation process has to be not just the enrichment, but what happens to this material that's buried deep somewhere that they still have access to if they ever wanted to dig it out. That has to be addressed, and that's being addressed in the negotiation. I'm not going to go further on what progress has been made on that topic because I don't want to endanger the negotiations, but suffice it to say that the president and this entire team is aware of the centrality of that question, and that will have to be addressed one way or the other.
For shiz, right? So we're moving through it. Here's more. Secretary Rubio talking about the stark warning to Iran. I think this is reasonably short. Check it out.
The last point I would make, and it really is important for them to understand this, is they really shouldn't test the will of the United States, at least not under President Donald Trump. He has proven time and again that he will back up what he says. And if they test him, ultimately they will lose. The hard way, the easy way, the long way, the short way, they will lose.
Yeah, it'll suck balls. That's what that's
the last point I would make. And
that's the last point I would make is, Iran, this will suck balls for you. Donald Trump truth this, assuming Iran agrees to give what has been agreed to, which is, perhaps, a big assumption, the already legendary Epic Fury will be at an end, and the highly effective blockade will allow the Hormuz Strait to be open to all, including Iran. If they don't agree, the bombing starts, and it will be, sadly, at a much higher level and intensity than it was before. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. And out the left window, the explosions of their... we'll find out. A French ship was hit by a projectile or a projectile. A projectile. And Duchesparsan says, in a Strait of Hormuz, this was attacked, this French-carrying ship. The French flag-carrying ship. I just want to point out once again, the only ships that have been attacked have been ones that are not flagged under United States. There's a deal that was made with Iran, and we're basically pissed off at Europe right now, and Europe knows it. And we're like, I don't care. They can shoot your ships. Fuck them. Fuck your ships. We actually might tell them where they're at. Who knows? We'll see how we feel at the time. You guys are pissing us off. You guys suck balls. It's with a Z too, guys, so it's not what you were thinking. United Arab Emirates, they got attacked a few more times. They are in the crosshairs of Iran. They are literally probably the only country that is in the United Arab Emirates is over here too, by the way. So just barely across in this little area here, which we know is where they've got that island in there, and they got all sorts of shit over here. Because that's where the rest of their stuff is. They got all these little things. They pull them out of wheelbarrows and stuff like that, right? So these missiles UAE's is closest thing they can hit. They really can't transport these missiles to the border up here and attack anybody else, because if they move them, we'll blow the shit out of them. They know that. So all they can do is just pop out of a thing where they've got some sort of camouflage on top of it, and we probably just can't see it with satellites or don't know necessarily that it's there. But the second it fires, we know, So again, we're dealing with it. There's some leftover crap. So this is part of the problem that we're having fun with as we've experienced. So yeah, UAE getting attacked. This, again, is where all the ships are hiding, is way over here. Because they know they can't reach them. These boats, these stupid little speed boats. right? They call them Boston whalers for a reason, because it's meant to imply they're about 17 feet-ish. They're pretty small. They're great. I got a buddy that had a Boston whaler. We almost died out in the ocean at night. I will never forget that. That would have been horrible. I mean, we were close enough to land where probably would have gotten smashed onto the rocks, so they probably would have found my body at least. That's awesome. Anywho, yeah, a whole lot ships. There's like hundreds of them, a few hundred, like 300, whatever, 363. Interesting number, by the way. So, strange stuff happening, my friends. Trump's pausing the Project Freedom. So we'll see. He told us that. He's basically pausing this, but the pause is for the cause, and if they don't hold to it, then it's not going to, we're not gonna hold either. He's already told them, if you guys don't do this, we'll beat your ass. Israel says they're preparing for escalation with Iran. They didn't know the deal was close, so we didn't know. You guys are all really being all friendly now? We didn't know. Why? We're the last to always find out. Meanwhile, Israel's like, we are going to bomb them into submission. It's not an appropriate accent, but that's what came out of my face. Ted Turner, he died. Trump said some nice stuff. He was friends with him. There you go. This was interesting. So Claude's actually going to be using SpaceX's server farm for their AI. They're going to pay money to SpaceX, which is cool. It helps SpaceX. This gets money on them, and maybe Musk overbuilt his server farm, or his AI is not far enough along yet to be able to use it, or he's got all sorts of extra stuff at the moment that he's willing to segment and let people borrow. Whatever the case is, I found this to be significant for any of you geeky people out there. I don't know. That's weird, right? Like, it's kind of too, like, because he's got his own AI. That's all I'm saying. Musk has his own AI, and he's helped. I mean, it's all contracts, AWS, everybody else, but whatever. Figure CEO says humanoid robots could soon enter homes for $600 a month. You got to lease these fuckers. You're going to have a slave in your house that's a humanoid robot. You can just fucking do shit. Say stuff to it. Guy Bill Burr is going to probably get one. Can you imagine the crazy shit he's gotten supposedly a lot more mellow, but whatever. The old Bill Burr. Just fucking do something then. I don't know what you mean. Yeah. Anywho, $600 a month. Are you shitting me? To have your own slave that you got to pay. You can't just buy the machine. It's like a cell phone, man. They won't let you buy a cell phone anymore. They want you to fucking hate these guys. Well, I don't hate anything. Just like these bastards. A lot. Religious leader told, prepare now for UFO disclosure to unleash Bible-changing revelations. And this guy, he's an influential pastor. And he's claiming that he's been told to prepare their followers for shocking revelations about UFOs, which may upend beliefs in the Bible. Perry Stone, he's a well-known evangelist. He's an author and a Bible teacher from Tennessee. Warned that fellow pastors were recently invited to a secret meeting with the U.S. intelligence officials prepared for the release of the secret files on extraterrestrials. It's kind of funny. So Rep. Anna Paulina Luna's like, please provide us with who you talk to. It's Birch, man. It's Burchett, Tim Burchett, or whatever. He's from Tennessee. Hello. He's a super Bible dude. Hello. Anyone that refuses to not cuss because he's so tied with God. Dude, if God hates cussing, I am seriously fucked. That's all I can say. I did the nun thing, so I'm pretty screwed. No matter what. I mean, there's a lot of strikes against me. I hope God has a sense of humor. That's all I've got to say. If he doesn't, it's gonna suck. I'm just gonna say. This guy, I don't know. Bigfoot, not Bigfoot. What do you guys think?
Ohio is actually, believe it or not, ranked number 4 of all the states in the United States that have sightings. So it isn't really all that unusual. There seems to be a little pocket of them in them there woods, if you will. I was not interested in the subject whatsoever. And growing up in the Pacific Northwest, like I did, it was part of the vernacular. But to me, it was an urban legend, if you will. But all that changed for me in 1993 while conducting a military exercise in the Oregon Coast Range. I and 3 other soldiers were exposed to 3 of these creatures observing our exercises, and those 25 seconds changed the entire course of my life.
Yeah, that would probably kind of change things for you, right? Seeing giant mammoth walking carpets. Exactly. We're fighting this fight together, guys. I love you a bunch. And we're doing it together. Where we go one, we go all. It's on the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.